All right, so we're talking pitching and chipping today. And here's what we need to understand. Sometimes by trying to dumb it down and hit like foolproof shots or whatever you want to call them, like no brainers, we make it way harder than it even has to be actually. So, what I see often is like I'll have a player that gets this shot and they're like, well, it's such a short shot. The pin's really close and there's nothing in front of me. So, I'm just going to run it. But the problem is yeah, that requires less skill to execute. But the bigger problem is that the big problem is that it's hard to get it close. Like you're not going to get it close consistently trying to hit an 8 iron because you're relying on too many, like way too many external factors. Now that happened to be a pretty decent shot. It's probably like, I don't know, like 7 or 8 feet, maybe 10 feet past. But you're relying on too many external factors, a bounce, a kick, a skid. I mean, like I'm hitting the shot, I'm into the grain because I'm uphill, right? This is all into the grain here. I've got a green where the pin is very short sighted. It's probably like 5 or 6 paces on tops. And I've got a situation here where the green actually runs away, right? So I'm going into the green and I'm uphill, and then it kind of flattens out up here a little bit, and then it runs away once you get like 2 feet onto the green. So what do? So instinctively for me, what I like to do from here is toss it. So I'll play a toss shot with a little bit more spin. And so like how I'm going to do that is I'm going to stand a little bit closer to it than I would if I was going to hit a high shot. Like a high shot, I'm be further, my hands lower. This shot here, I'm going to stand a little bit closer to it, but my finish is going to go in front of me like this way. It's almost like it's the face is like a Ferris wheel. Okay. And really what I'm ultimately doing is I'm moving the club through is I'm pulling my thumbs back towards my face to almost block my vision. And that's how I'm getting the club to move through. And I'm manipulating the arc to get a little bit more spin and a little bit more grabbing power. So from here, it's like, all right, kind of a toe up, kind of block your vision with your hands kind of swing, where the face of the club is kind of riding like a Ferris wheel. Okay, and I hit that too hard, but check out that stopping power, right? And that's landing on a downhill surface. So worst case scenario, if I overhit it like that, I'm going to have 15 feet. But I never put myself in a position to really screw it up. Like I'll take my chances with the 15-footer. And a lot of times in golf, we're trying to like solve the problem now. So like I need to hit this to a foot. Well, the reality is I don't. What I need to do is move the problem into the future and then solve it then. So when you have this situation here, it's like what do I have an opportunity to do here where I can get the ball in the hole in 2 shots? It's like I don't have to hit this to kick in every single time. Like if I hit a shot where my air is 15 feet, I like my chances from 15 feet. I really do. Especially there, like I know I'm going to be putting uphill. It's probably not going to be more than like a right edge putt. And it's just not that hard. Whereas if I run it with an 8 iron or something, I could legitimately miss the green because it's just not that easy of a shot. And by trying to make it like a no-brainer, I'm taking away my opportunities to get the ball up and down. Whereas hitting this shot, I give myself opportunities to get up and down. And I'm still going to have situations where I just get it on and two-putt, whatever. But at least from here, I give myself a chance to hit those shots. And like you could see there, that one was really grainy. Like before I was here and it was a little grainy and I did a good job going with the hill. Here, because this lie was flatter, I didn't think nearly as much about going with the hill, but it still must be a little bit into the hill. And that one, good thing I carried the golf club on the way through with my body rotation, because that's ultimately what kept me from flubbing that. Had I tried to hit it with my arms, I would have laid the sod over that. So again, it's toe up, face up, and like my visual is actually to take my visual away. So I'm going to go toe up through to face up, and I'm trying to block my vision with my hands. Like I can kind of see a distorted Callaway logo on my glove, and I can kind of see my thumb my thumbs, but that's really all that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to go toe up, face up, and block my vision with my thumbs. Okay, and that one I intentionally went with the hill a little bit more. It was very sweepy. So my spin loft was massive. That ball launched way up in the air. And it was kind of soft. And although it wasn't really the shot I was trying to hit, I got away with it, right? So if your fundamentals are good, you're trying to hit a shot that works, odds are the fringe shots around it, when you do fail a little bit, they still kind of work as long as you're advancing the club with your body. You're hitting it mostly solid, right? Let's hit a few more, and then we're going to change targets, okay? Actually, let's just hit one more, and then we'll switch targets. Okay, so another good one there. Let's hit one more. It's kind of wet here, which makes it even harder. So I have this grainy, wet lie. It would be so easy to just lay the sod over this and dump it, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, just like that. All right, so moving along. So similar lie, let's go from here. Notice that I'm moving the ball around. And the reason for that is I don't want to play the ball here and then move it to the back of my divot and keep hitting shots where the divot stands up more and more and more and more and more, because I'm typically not going to have that shot on the course. From a visual standpoint, I like to move the ball around when I pitch and chip, because when I'm looking at the ball, I'm kind of visualizing like a dinner plate, like the size of a plate. So let's say 12-inch radius around the ball, maybe 15 inches. And I want that to all pretty much be clean, so that way it has the same visual that I would get on the golf course. Makes kind of good sense, right? I don't want to hit a shot, take a little divot there and then hit right next to it, like, because I'm just not going to have that much on the golf course, and I'm trying to keep my visuals as similar as possible. Okay, so keeping with the theme of like trying to hit shots that don't seem to make it easy but actually make it easier. Let's say we're going to this left pin over here. So here I actually have a lot of green to work with. Okay, the green is not running away. It's a little bit uphill and a little bit tilted left to right. Okay, so I want to land a little bit left of the hole. I have a lot of green to work with. I have about 40 feet of green. So what I would typically do here is, instead of hitting my 60 degree, I'm going to hit my 56 degree. Okay, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to play a little bit of a runner here. So what I like to do when I play runners is I like to change my steep angle and my shallow angle. What I mean by that is, normally when you're hitting a pitch shot, your steep angle is the descent of the golf club. How much are you hitting down on it? And your shallow angle is the bounce, right? Everyone wants to hear about using the bounce, and everyone, is trying to use the bounce. And we were doing it on the last one, right? I was hitting down on them using the bounce. But in this one, we're going to flip-flop them. So my shallow angle is going to be my angle of attack. So I'm going to be really wide. Notice not a lot of wrists here. And I'm going to be really sweepy. And my steep angle is going to be a shut club face, which would make the club dig. So I'm intentionally going to swing it really wide, meaning like the club is going to travel very neutral to the ground. It's not going to travel up and down like a V. It's going to be really, really neutral. And my steep angle, again, is going to be a shut face. So I'm going to hit these shots really wide, okay, with a steep face. Okay, pretty solid, right? And because I mitigated the turf interaction, I completely got rid of it by staying wide, I was able to hit that very aggressively, and I had no druthers about duffing it or hitting a bad shot. So let's do the low runner, the chaser. And again, we are trying to minimize turf interaction, to completely get rid of it if possible. And our steep angle is going to be a shut club face. So I'm going to path it into out, and I'm going to keep my wrists really ulnar. And I'm just going to let that ball land up there and release. And again, this is my 56 degree. This isn't my 60 like I was hitting to the short-sided one. This is my 56. And the shot's just, it's a relatively easy shot for me because I teach it to pretty much every player that I work with, because it's easy for them to get good at it, because it's just not that complicated. You're just flipping your steep and shallow angles. All right, so here's what I want you to think about. Anytime you have a shot, I want you to think, all right, if I pull this off, how's it going to look? Right? So we talked about 8 iron to here. There could be a 100 times from here out of 1,000 where you pull it off and you still get a crappy bounce and it doesn't work out. We want to hit shots where if we pull it off, they work out, because we can't afford to make, 15, 18 bogeys around. We want to make more pars, get these up and down for birdies on par fives, short par fours, whatever. So 8 iron's probably not the play here unless you're a 30 handicapper trying to not make triples. All right. From here, the play to the short-sided pin, let's take this 60. Worst case scenario, if your most lofted club is 56, and let's nip it. Again, it's toe up, face up, and cover your vision, okay? And then the further one where I have more green to work with, it's a wide, shallow arc with an in-to-out path, and my steep angle is the shut club face. That shut club face is what's going to lift the ball and help you make good contact and get that ball chasing and running up there by the hole. All right, so let's make good decisions, make it smart, not harder. All right, stop picking no-brainer shots, because if you're not using your brain, you're going to leave yourself a lot of 25-footers and miss a lot of greens trying to hit easy shots that just aren't going to work out a lot of the time. All right, let me know if this helps. Again, if you like this video, make sure to share it with your friends, follow my channel, and like it. All right, I appreciate y'all.